Let's start off my video with me. But I thought you got moved. Look, I just met a bunch of people. Something to say to put in life, and it's not being treated by the same person. For sure. One of his life. One. And the sneaking. Another. Scarlet lady. Now, on chapter 5. The head mares. 100 miles ahead, sunrise shone in Circle Park. The elegant lawns and flowerbeds and encircled Tier 1 and gleamed in the ornamental lakes, and pathways glistening with dew, and glittered with white metal spires of cloak of Sierra Clover horse houses, Valentine's villa, sit among the dark cedars and the park's edge. Somebody doubted my gigantic conch, shall abandoned by a freak high tide. In a bedroom on the top of the floor, Kevin awoke and lay watching sunbeam filter through the tall shower. Shudders on her window. She knew she was unhappy, but at first she did not know why. She remembered the previous evening, the attack in the gut, how the poor sweet young princess chased her. It was good. She reached altitude and the engineer was stumbling away. His sharp face as white as a rubber coat. Behind me she found father looking pale and angry, and by policemen. She never seen him before there before. Not heard the harsh, unnatural voices. And she snapped at her to go straight home. And the curb and go back to sleep. And to see him make sure he was white. She flung back to coat and pulling in the clothes. Last night and come on the floor. Still smelling of furnaces. Outside the bedroom a door hallway sloped. Gently, downwards, round moved, hung about on itself. Inside of an automite. She hurried down it, passing through Mexican before the central killer. Goddess of history. Murdered amnesia. Amnesia outside the door. In her she is like treasures that her father back from his expeditions. Potsherds, fragments of computer keyboards, and rusting metal skulls of stalkers. A strange mechanical soldiers upon a forgotten war. Their cracked glass eyes stared plain at Catherine as she hurried by. I was drinking coffee in the afternoon and dressing gown. Father, what's happened? Oh, Kate, what a night! The poor boy? How am I supposed to? He didn't find anything. And dragged him with her. She jumped. They were both drowned in the mud of the old country, crushed beneath the tracks. Oh! Whispered Catherine, and sat down on the edge of the table. Not even noticing Doug when he came paddling up in to rest his great head on her knee. Poor Tom, she thought. So sweet, so he could breathe. She'd really liked him. She had even thought about bringing him a Brooklyn house so she and Doug could get to know him better. And now he was dead, so filled to the sun of the country, and his body cold in the cold mud. Someone sees awake. The Lord Mayor isn't happy. The Lord Mayor isn't happy. And I'm glancing at the clock. And is that from Lucy in the Good of London? And then his first day back in Uganda. He is coming down here in person to discuss it. Will you sit with me and answer my breakfast if you like it? Come on the table, roll this button. I have no appetite at all. And I put Eva. She glanced at the food. And there's a packet of a pack on the table. It was a pack of girls sat on the rock. That's right.
Hi Tom, put your phone in that room and brush your teeth and wash your face. Good night.
Alexa, front right offer. The contents were spread around like exhibits in a strange museum. I made a water bottle, a first aid kit, some string, and a few strips of dried meat, and a tougher than the tongues of old boots, and a stained, crumpled up sheet of paper, a photograph stapled to it, lit up in a town called Stowe, filthy and faced coming apart of cases before she could study. In the writing, I was drawn to the photograph. Father, father, face her! And then I'm turned on the paper and snatched it from her. No, Kate! And not for your eyes, not for anybody's eyes. I was like, careful with the corner of. Then he went back to his pen and watched. And yes, since each year, when Kevin became to think of him as a best friend, and loves her father, they liked the same things, answered the same jokes, and never kept secrets from each other. She could see he was starting. Wait, so. I'm doing please. And got his frozen gem. It fought up. But he waited away, so she kissed him quickly on the cheek, hurried out to him, and looked out behind her. Through the big oval windows of the drawing room, she could see a white official bug pulling into the gates of Cure House. A squad of soldiers ran ahead of it, just like a blight dressed in the bright red armor of the beef feathers. Was my personal bodyguard. They took up positions on the guardian like ugly lawn ornaments. As Gench, one of the robot opened the bug's glasstic lids, and I seen fight them. The Lord Mayor stepped out and came striding towards the house. Magnus Com had been under wolf running for nearly 20 years. But he still didn't look like a Lord Mayor. One of the mayors and Catherine street books were chubby, merry, red-faced man. Crumb was as thin as an old crow, twice as gloomy. He didn't even wear the scarlet robe that had been the pride and joy of a mayor's, but still dressed in a long white rubber coat, and wore the red beard of the guild engineers upon his brow. Those earlier Lord Mayors had a guild, like the Moose, to show that they were serving the whole of London. But things had changed when Cromie seized power, and even if people said it was unfair for one man to be the master of engineers and Lord Mayor, they still admitted that Cromie made a good job of winning the city. I didn't like it. She had never liked him, even though she had been so good. She had been so good to his father. She had not been in my mood, and she was in any mood to meet him. This morning, as soon as she heard the front door Iris open, she hurried back into the corridor and started up. It was calling softly for Dr. Vorner. She stopped as soon as she was around on the first bend, hidden in a shallow of alcove, resting the tips of her fingers on the wolf's head. To keep him still, she could tell that some terrible trouble had overtaken her father, and she was not going to let him keep it. No. And if she was still a little girl, A few seconds later, she saw Gench arrive at the doors. Quitting his hand, and said, "This way, your worship's honor," he mumbled, bowing. "Mind yet step of it, your merriness." Close behind came Crone. The swayed. She squeezed herself tighter into the alcove, prayed to Quirky in the cure that he would not see her. For a moment she could hear his breathing. Her face squeaked. He squeaks. And creakings of his rubber coat. Then Gench had led him to the auditorium, where the danger was past. And with one hand firmly on the dog's collar, back to the door and listened. She could hear her father's voice, and imagined him standing in beside her ornament of fountain, while his man showed Crumb to a seat. He started to make some polite comment about the weather, but the cold, thin voice of the Lord Mayor interrupted him. "I have been reading your report of last night's escapade, Valentine. You assured me that the whole family had been dealt with." Kevin flinched away. No, wait. As well. Right. She did not want to hear any more, but curiosity got a bit of her. A ghost from my past. I can't imagine how she escaped, and Quirky alone knows where she went. So agile and cunning. But she is dead now, and so is the boy who got her. Poor Natsworthy. You are sure of that? They fell out of the city, Chrome. That means nothing. They are traveling over soft ground. They may have survived. Should have sent man down to check her. Remember, we don't know how much the girl knew of her mother's work. If she were to tell another city that we have Medusa before we were ready to use it. I know, said Valentine, irritably. And Catherine heard it creak. As he flung himself down. "I'll take the 13th floor elevator back and see if noise." "No!" ordered Chrome. "I have other plans for you and your airship. I want you to fly ahead and see what lies between London and its glow. See what between London and its goal. Chrome, that's a job for Plan Committee ship, not the elevator." "No! I don't want too many people to know where we are taking the city. They will find out, and when the time is ripe. Besides, I have a task in mind that only you can be trusted with. And the girl, don't worry about her, woman. I have an agent who can be relied on tracking her down and finish the job you failed to do. Concentrate on preparing your airship, Valentine." The meeting was at an end, and Catherine heard the Lord Mayor getting ready to leave and hurried away up the corridor before the door opened, her mind whirling faster than one of her tumble drives in London Museum's Hall of Ancient Technology. Back in her room, she sat down to wonder about the things she had heard. She had hoped there was a mystery, but instead it had grown deeper. All she was sure was that father had a secret. He never kept anything from her before. He always told her everything, and asked her opinion, and wanted advice. But now he was whispering with the Lord Mayor, of the girl being a ghost from his past, and some agent being sent back to look for her. And do what? Could Tom and the assassins really still be alive? And why is the Lord Mayor packing Father Arthur up on a reconstruction fight, and amid such secrecy? And why didn't he want to say where London was going? And what on earth was Medusa? There, the entire chapter 1. Good night.